Welcome to today's video, which is going to be all about oil pulling. So let's get right to it. In this video, you are going to learn the most important things you need to know about oil pulling. In a moment I'm going to explain what oil pulling is, how it's done, when to use it, and the one thing you do not want to do while using this method. The oil pulling method is relatively simple. You take a tablespoon of liquid vegetable oil, place it in your mouth, and swish. Almost any oil would do, but coconut oil is very popular with this method. While the oil is in your mouth, you swish it for about 20 minutes. Once done, you spit it out and brush your teeth. The procedure gets its name from pushing and pulling the oil through the teeth. The other meaning that is attributed to its name comes from the same process. You are pulling the impurities through the mouth and cleanse your body by doing so. This practice originated in ancient India and has been used in Ayurvedic medicine since then. It dates back approximately 3,000 years. You have to know that the American Dental Association doesn't approve of this practice, claiming there is no scientific evidence to support its benefits. We all have a lot of bacteria in our mouths. Some of it is good and some not. These bacteria often have properties that attract them to other fatty substances, such as oil. When they come into contact with oil, they stick to it. Since bacteria might be hiding in difficult-to-reach places, the toothbrush is not always able to reach or pick them up. The four most popular oils people use in oil pulling are coconut, sesame, palm, and olive. Coconut is probably the most often used due to its pleasant taste. It does have one drawback though. It becomes solid in temperatures of 76 degrees and below. Often, when you put it in your mouth, it's not liquid. Usually, it's not a problem, and there are two solutions to this issue. The first one is to mix the oil with another one. You can mix it with sesame oil, for example. The other option is just to place it in your mouth in a state regardless of its state. If it's solid at first, it will soon become liquid again, as our body's temperatures are higher than 76 degrees. There is some evidence that oil pulling could be beneficial. For example, a study conducted by the Journal of Clinical and Dental Research in 2014 found out that oil pulling using sesame oil reduced bad breath. It actually produced the same results as the chlorhexidine treatment. Skeptics say that it's simply the act of swishing for a prolonged time that produces any beneficial results. They state that 20 minutes of swishing would help dislodge the particles stuck between your teeth, and thus help in your oral hygiene. This argument continues and proposes you could achieve the same results by swishing water in your mouth. If you decide to try oil pulling, remember that practitioners of this method recommend 20 minutes of swishing. If you have never done it before, it might be a bit tiring on your mouth muscles at first. I'd recommend that you start with a shorter time, for example, 5 minutes. Once you feel comfortable, you can proceed and start prolonging the time until you reach 20 minutes. Another thing to keep in mind is to make sure you don't take too much oil in your mouth. If you do, you might be struggling to keep it all in, and your jaws will work harder. You also want to make sure you don't swallow it. Not only it is not tasty but would also be rather unhealthy. If you do swallow it, there is a possibility you may contract lipoid pneumonia. You don't want this to happen. Please remember that oil pulling is not a substitute for brushing or flossing. It can complement, but not replace them. People practicing this method often recommend incorporating it into your dental daily routine for at least 2 weeks at first. If you have existing teeth or gum problems such as infection or inflammation, you should do it for the full month. After that, oil pulling once or twice a week should be sufficient. When you are ready to purchase oil for this purpose, make sure it's pure. It's not an easy task as plant oil production is not regulated. In tests conducted among different resellers, some oils were found to contain toxic substances. Your best bet is an organic, cold-pressed oil. Cold-pressed means it was obtained through the mechanical, rather than a chemical process. Chemical extraction often uses hexane, which is a neurotoxin. Manufacturers use temperatures of 470 degrees Fahrenheit, which might affect oil's properties. Cold-pressed oil is extracted in temperatures that usually don't exceed 120 degrees. It means it will retain its nutritional value, flavor, and aroma. Oil pulling is relatively easy to use as a complementary method to your oral health. It's inexpensive and could be beneficial for your teeth and gums. Let me know in the comments below if you have tried this method. What are your thoughts? Did it help you? Did you notice any changes in your teeth and gums? If you liked this video, please click the subscribe button and hit the bell below to be notified about our next topic. We have more videos about oral health coming up shortly. We will cover more topics in greater detail. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about receding gums, and I will be showing you how to prevent this from happening and the available treatments. Also, click on the link below to get our free daily tips. See you in the next video.